As investors, especially seasoned ones, we cannot deny the fact that we are looking forward to a great year. It's a Bitcoin year, and it's expected that other cryptocurrencies will follow the trend of the leading cryptocurrencies. What are exactly the predictions? As investors await approval for the first US spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund, Bitcoin has surged in price. According to experts, the approval will be a milestone for cryptocurrency investors. In early December, the digital currency topped $44,000 for the first time since April of 2022, and the year-to-date gains were above 160%, mostly fueled by optimism for a spot Bitcoin ETF. Meanwhile, discussions between the Securities and Exchange Commission and asset managers hoping to list Bitcoin ETFs have advanced to technical details. So, to some experts, it's an indication that approval could be imminent. More than a dozen firms, including BlackRock, WisdomTree, Valkyrie, and others, are waiting for this green light from the SEC, which could come in early January. Brian Amore, the director of passive strategies research for North America at Morningstar, said, "For ETF investors, this would be the best product in the market. All their options right now have flaws to varying degrees." Currently, US investors can buy Bitcoin Futures ETF, which owns Bitcoin futures contracts or agreements to buy or sell the asset later for an agreed upon price. The long-awaited Bitcoin spot ETF would invest in the digital asset directly. If the SEC signs off on a spot Bitcoin ETF, Amore anticipates a batch approval with multiple ETF listings on the same day. I would expect them to rule on spot ETFs holistically because most issuers are taking similar approaches with applications. There are a lot of good signs that the SEC is taking the most recent batch of filings more seriously. I'm more optimistic about Bitcoin ETFs than ever before. Some crypto investors expect a Bitcoin rally upon approval. Well, perhaps it's not just some. Everyone is talking about it. However, it is also possible that the price will dip as investors sell to collect profits. While the SEC approval for a spot Bitcoin ETF may make the asset class more accessible to the masses, a few experts urge investors to consider their risk tolerance and goals before piling in. "I think it depends on the investor," said certified financial planner Ben Smith, founder of Cove Financial Planning in Milwaukee. "If you're a more aggressive investor with an appetite for higher risk, a spot Bitcoin ETF could fit into a diversified portfolio," he added. Bitcoin has exhibited a remarkable performance this year, when the world's largest cryptocurrency started 2023 just above $16,000. We were quite unsure about what to expect. Nonetheless, it's climbed to a 12-month high of $45,000 in early December. Interestingly, Bitcoin's performance in 2023 has outpaced other assets like global stocks and gold. Therefore, after an astounding 2023, Bitcoin is expected to continue its bullish run in 2024. We are anticipating a slew of bullish events, and cheers to 2024. Scheduled for April 2024, the Bitcoin halving is highly expected. This major event that reduces the reward for mining new blocks by half. This reduction in the new supply has historically led to significant price increases due to the increased scarcity of Bitcoin. Past halving events have been followed by substantial bull markets, making this an eagerly predicted event by investors. Also, there is a growing optimism that the US Securities and Exchange Commission will approve a spot Bitcoin ETF in early 2024. According to several reports, an ETF would make Bitcoin more accessible to mainstream investors and could drive significant capital into Bitcoin, hence a boost in its price. When it comes to institutional adoption as well, the ground's already set due for the ETF proposals. Institutions like MicroStrategy and BlackRock have invested in Bitcoin, enhancing its credibility among institutional investors. This will not only attract more capital, but also add legitimacy to Bitcoin as an investment asset. Plus, investors' expectation that the Fed will soon pause its interest rate hikes has made cryptocurrencies stand out in this year. The Fed has indicated a possible end to this rate hiking cycle, with expectations of lower borrowing costs in 2024. In the most recent meeting, the central bank penciled in 3 rate cuts for 2024 that will likely serve as a positive boost for cryptocurrencies and crypto stocks. 2024 is loaded with so much, as global adoption by countries is highly expected. The trend of countries adopting Bitcoin, as seen with El Salvador and the Central African Republic, is predicted to continue. As more countries adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, it could lead to a broader market and increased demand. Moreover, Bitcoin's long history and adoption by major companies and banks contribute to its reputation as a safe investment choice. Now, we won't leave out this year's elections either. How will this influence the value of cryptocurrencies? According to a December 21st post, Grayscale and Harris Poll have teamed up to get the read on the role of crypto in the 2024 election. As stated in the report, for the first time in history, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies were all mentioned in the American presidential primary debate, resulting in a study and a survey. From this study, key findings include 46% of likely voters being said to hold off on cryptocurrency investments, waiting for additional policies and regulations before diving into the digital asset space. Furthermore, data show that 40% of respondents anticipate incorporating cryptocurrency into their future investment portfolios, giving a sign of growing acceptance of this emerging financial frontier. It is equally noteworthy that nearly half of the survey voters, 48%, expressed that implementing additional policies or regulations around cryptocurrency would make them more inclined to invest. A substantial 59% from both demographics expressed a likelihood of voting for a candidate well-versed in cryptocurrency matters, and an additional 50% and 48% respectively consider a candidate's stance on crypto a decisive factor in their vote for the 2024 US presidential election. In alignment with an earlier report from November 9th, Galaxy Digital Holdings CEO Michael Novogratz expressed reservations about the advancement of cryptocurrency regulations in the United States, leading up to the anticipated 2024 presidential election. In the third quarter earnings call for the company, Novogratz predicted a delay in US crypto regulation until post-2024 elections. With many likely voters interested in cryptocurrency regulations, regardless of the hard times we've experienced as a result of them this year, Novogratz's prediction will likely check out. Now, with many predicting that this year can be an even bigger year for Bitcoin, analysts with investment manager VanEck have said that they expect former US President Donald Trump to retake the White House next year. If this happens, the Bitcoin price will soar to $100,000 by December 2024, giving it a market capitalization of around $2 trillion. In the second half of 2024, Bitcoin will climb a presidential-sized wall of worry. VanEck analysts Matthew Seigel and Patrick Bush wrote in a 2024 crypto and Bitcoin prediction report. They added, after a combative election that saw Donald Trump win 290 electoral votes and regain the presidency, raising optimism that the SEC's hostile regulatory approach will be dismantled, we think that the Bitcoin price will reach an all-time high on November 9th, exactly 3 years to the day from its last all-time high. For the past few years, Bitcoin prices have been weighed down by the SEC's aggressive stance towards Bitcoin and crypto in general. This past year, Gary Gensler accused Coinbase and other major crypto exchanges of securities fraud. Trump predicted victory, which aligns with the recent polls that put him ahead of President Joe Biden, come alongside what the VanEck analysts see as a global backlash against the anti-growth agenda. There's a lot of optimism in the market. A lot of investors are adding Bitcoin to their portfolios. When we look ahead to the hopeful approval, it is going to unlock the opportunity for a part of the investment community that, for better or worse, but I would say for worse, has unfortunately been locked out of the opportunity to participate in having Bitcoin exposure in their portfolios, an expert said. As noted earlier, introducing a spot Bitcoin ETF is also expected to shake up the operations of the cryptocurrency exchanges. Analysts like Nate Gerasi of the ETF Store and Bloomberg's Eric Balchunas pointed out that an ETF could lead to more competitive trading costs. Grayscale CEO Michael Sonnershine added another dimension to this conversation. He suggested the ETF's approval could unlock $30 trillion in advised wealth for Bitcoin. This move could significantly enlarge the investor base, offering new opportunities for those previously unable to invest in Bitcoin. Regarding price forecasts, a range of predictions have been set in pace. On the conservative end, Bitcoin's price is expected to hover between $42,000 and $100,000 upon ETF approval. However, a more bullish perspective suggests a potential surge to $160,000 or even $1 million fueled by institutional influx and supply factors. In that vein, Adam Back, the CEO of Blockstream, forecasted a significant increase in Bitcoin's value, suggesting that it could reach $100,000. He believes that this surge is possible even before the introduction of an ETF and the upcoming Bitcoin halving event. Back emphasized the substantial impact an ETF could have on Bitcoin's value, highlighting its potential influence on its market dynamics. Now that Bitcoin is ready to go on an astounding roll, the question is, are we ready? But that's going to do it for today's video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and click on the notification buttons, and we'll see you in the next video.